Left a good job in the city, looking for a man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, 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 rolling on the river. Why is my game frozen today? Great. The game's froze. There we go. Game is no longer frozen. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pokemon Platinum. I made a decision a few days ago, and I haven't done a Pokemon Platinum stream since that decision was made. Given everything that's happening in the world right now, and given everything that's happening, especially in the United States, I've decided not only are we not going to be talking about politics and religion going forward on my streams, we're not going to be doing it on my YouTube channel, we're not going to be doing it on my Discord, we're not going to be doing it anywhere remotely close to my quote-unquote brand. I don't have a brand, but you know what I mean, my online persona, whatever. We're not going to be doing it anymore. I am going to say one thing, and then we're going to move right on into just the Pokemon stuff. This is going to be the biggest I told you so in history, and I'm going to gloat in it, which is not something I typically do. I'm not that kind of person. Just remember, America, you wanted this. This was your decision. When everything hits the fan, and it will, just remember you wanted this. The rest of us didn't. You did. You'll have to live with that decision for the rest of your life. So, congratulations. You have shown yourself once again to be the most ignorant country on the planet. Most poorly educated, most bitter, hateful, rage-filled, racist, sexist, homophobic, all of it. Just all of it. All of it. But that's not why we are here today. I've said my piece. We're moving on. I've also changed the chat rules on Twitch. I went in and changed everything yesterday, so there'll be no solicitations. I will have none of it. I will have nobody coming in to try to sell their artwork, emojis, channel banner, none of that. You will not come in here. You will not be rude and disrespectful. You will not drama dump. You will not come in here and talk about how you had a bad day. You will not come in here and talk about politics, because I just can't anymore after this election. And the big one, no more religious talk. I had to scrap an entire stream recently because I gave my raw, unfiltered, unadulterated opinion, unsolicited too, on all of that stuff. I broke TOS constantly and had to just delete that stream into oblivion. So we're moving forward. We're just going to focus on what's happening on screen and what's happening in our own little bubble. Because I just can't anymore. I don't know how many years that I got left on this planet. God knows I'm not giving another second to the evil that persists in the world right now. I'm donezo. I am done with that shit. We did defeat Cyrus. We went into the distortion world and we took care of Cyrus. I don't know where he ran off to. Did he escape the distortion world? Is he still in there somewhere? I don't know. Who knows? I stayed up way too late last night playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. That's my new copium game and my new obsession. I do hate the fact that you have to wait so many hours between being able to open booster packs. That seems a bit broken. I love the game. I like the artwork on the cards. I just like being able to sit down and play the card game again, because like I don't have anybody to play with IRL, so it's nice to be able to like play with people online. It's nice to be able to like build my collection again, have a little virtual binder. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of helping distract me from this very stupid decision I made to stop playing Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Sleep was going nowhere, but I kind of low-key miss it, and I also am afraid that there might be future tie-in events where I need a Pokemon Sleep account just to get some random Pokemon for my living decks. But I did something stupid. I deleted my save data and I can't get it back. I've been emailing back and forth with the Pokemon company trying to see if they can resurrect it on their servers, but their responses have been slow going and annoying to me. I send them an email that says one thing and it feels like they just completely ignore it. It feels like it's in one ear and out the other. They just keep repeating themselves, which either they're using AI or they're using some sort of automated system, or they're following a script that they have in front of them to follow and they're just not listening to me. But I did notice that ultimately TCG Pocket is a gotcha game. It's very much pay to win. And I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, how is that? Well, here's my logic. The first handful of battles that I did online with humans, everybody just kept Charizard, Mewtwo, Charizard, Mewtwo, Charizard, Mewtwo. Their decks were designed in a way to where they got those two Pokemon out so fast and powered up so fast that I was obliterated with my normal standard decks. I didn't have any way whatsoever. And a lot of people will probably say, why don't you just get better? Why don't you just this? Why don't you? Well, those people are probably loaded IRL. They're probably rich and they can probably just afford to sit there and spend real world money all day, every day, just opening booster pack after booster pack. And that's going to give them a stacked deck against the rest of us who have to kind of wait and wait for those 8 to 12 hour fucking reset times, which are ridiculous. So yeah, the normal player base can't keep up with the rich elite who can just pay their way to the top. And of course, Charizard is broken, like he's been in every version of the TCG since the very beginning in the 90s. I've often complained about Game Freak and everybody that works with the Pokemon branding just having this obsession with Charizard, and I've never been wrong about it once. I've been spot on for going on 30 years. I don't understand the Charizard obsession. It's stupid to me, but whatever. He's horribly broken in the TCG, and anytime that I'm matched with somebody who's going to be using Charizard, I just nope out. I just shut the app off and reload. I don't give a fuck. But after the first 3 or 4 attempts at battling idiots using Mewtwo and Charizard, I did start getting into normal battles with people who were building decks like I would build decks, and I could tell I was getting past the rich elite. I did run into the same problem with the TCG Pocket that I run into in Mario Kart and anything else, and that's if I see a Japanese name, I nope out immediately. If it's not written in English where I can read it, I want nothing to do with you. The Japanese are an entirely other monster. From best I can tell, the Japanese, this is going to come across racist, they eat nothing but fish, which is brain food. Those little fuckers have a quick processing time where my beef-riddled American brain is just like, durr. 24 hours a day, I'm just durr. Meanwhile, they're like zipping all over the place, god-tier gamers. So yeah, I tend not to play with the Japanese because they take shit too seriously. They don't know how to just play casually and have fun. It's very reminiscent of when I tried to play Smash Brothers with my friends back in the day. They always use, and I talked about this in my Monster Hunter stream yesterday, my jackass idiot friends always treated Smash Brothers like a Dragon Ball Z emulator. They wouldn't use items, they wouldn't use amiibos, we couldn't do teams, we couldn't turn on computer players, you couldn't have any actual fun with Smash Brothers. It had to be, the world IRL would end if they didn't fight like Goku. I hated that shit. And in my personal experiences, that's how the Japanese fight in games online. You can call me racist, you can call me xenophobic, you can call me whatever you want, but in my personal experience, every time, without fail, if you play Mario Kart's my main go-to because it's where I first noticed I was having a problem with it. In Mario Kart 8 for the Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can choose to race online globally or regionally. If you do regionally, for me, that's North America, so I get people from Canada and the United States, and I don't know if it's Mexico or not, but I do see a lot of Canadian flags and US flags when I choose regional. If I choose global, it's a wall of Japanese flags, and it's a wall of racers who just have 9999999 score, and they're in first, second, and third always without fail. It's ridiculous. So say what you want about me. The same could be said for Pokemon. The handful of times that I've tried to do Pokemon battles online with randos, if I get matched with a Japanese person, my entire team gets wiped out in 5 seconds flat. It's not fun for me, and I'm just not going to put up with it anymore. But other than the pay-to-win mechanics, I'm still kind of enjoying TCG Pocket. Like I said, just don't play against Japanese players, and if you see somebody using Charizard or Mewtwo, just nope out of the battle immediately. Just find yourself a different person to play with. The coin flips are also broken. I don't know what code they wrote in the game that's supposed to be RNG, but it's broken as all hell. And there are a handful of cards that will say like flip till you get tails, and this does X amount of damage for every time, you know, that's very much a thing in the trading card game. It's broken to shit and back in TCG Pocket. Also, I've been doing those damn the Lapras event, and I'm seeing everybody on threads just bitching constantly about not only the coin flips, but that Lapras. No matter how many times we defeat that event, I'm just getting Pikachu and Clefairy. I'm not getting my Lapras card. I still don't have it. All my friends have it. I don't have it. And I've been trying for days. But all in all, I still recommend the app. It's really fun. It lets cheap bastards like me get back into the trading card game without having to spend a ton of real world money buying binders and sleeves and protectors and the card packs and booster packs and theme decks. That is an expensive hobby. So this game, this mobile app, lets me kind of get back into it and have fun without having to spend oodles and oodles and oodles of money, which I appreciate. But but you know, like I said, at my age, I got to protect my mentals. I don't exactly live the healthiest, so I can't afford to like be getting riled up all the time. I want to have a heart attack or stroke. And I'm telling you, my like base of existence has gone back to like being agitated. So like every day I wake up, I'm just mad. I look around the world around me and I'm just like, ugh. But I'm trying. I'm struggling with it, but I'm trying. I was telling Lewis the other day, I really want to try to do better and be better. But it's difficult. It's difficult when everyone around you and the world as a whole, it's just full of everybody's a jackass, and it's very hard to cope. But I did spend a long time last night playing the TCG. If they fix some of the issues I talked about today, then I can see the app having sustainability. You need to be able to choose which region you're playing with instead of just random across the globe. My game froze constantly, and I noticed that if you close the app and quickly go back in, it'll ask you if you want to rejoin the match, which was nice because I wasn't fully disconnected from the real world person that I was, battling. So that was nice. But they need to fix the RNG. They need to fix the coin flip. They need to fix the wait times. There's just so many things that need to be fixed. Of course, the game is in its early stages. It'll take time before it gets, they work out all the bugs. Look at all of the Pikachu. I do think, in a lot of ways, I perhaps suffer from, I show my age a lot on this stream. The things I choose to talk about, the opinions that I have, it shows my age, because life becomes more of a duality when you get older. You get madder. You get more upset over everything because the absurdity in life goes up and up and up and up and up. It's exponential growth there. But you also seen so much fuck shit in your life that you're just like, I don't care. I don't have the energy. I had a hard day. But I do want to try to be more positive, less bitchy. I want to do less rants like I've done since we started today's episode. It's really hard. It's really, really hard for me. It's going to be a work in progress. I don't think I'll ever reach that level of like douche tuber that I think some people are really attracted to, where I'm just brimming with positivity and bouncing off the walls with excitement every time I do an episode or start a stream. I don't think I'm ever going to be that guy. But I can try and be more positive. Like I said, I've changed the chat rules, and I need to adhere to them myself. So I'm going to try to come on here and be less doom and gloom going forward. And just hope that everybody else can too. We'll see. Minutes in and I'm now out of stuff to talk about. Bum 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 bum. Tyler and I have been on a Monster Hunter kick lately. We've been playing the shit out of Monster Hunter Rise, which honestly I should have been doing that all along. Well, I can't learn Super Fang because I don't have a place for it thanks to all these fucking HMs. Shockwave's not doing that much damage, so we'll get rid of it. Why do all these assholes have Gyarados? Gyarados. Gyarados. Ooh, there's gotta be people out there who pronounce it Gyarados, right? No Octillery, no Remoraid, no Golding, no Seeking, no Luminion, none of that. Just Magikarp, Gyarados, Magikarp, Gyarados. That's why some of the ROM hacks by fans are really popular, because they change up the Pokemon that the NPCs use. They make it a little more like realistic. Oh, look at this bullshit. A level 43 Magikarp and a level 43 Magikarp that's going to use Splash. Why? I zoned out. I'm still using Super Fang. I got to use something else. Super Fang cuts their HP in half of whatever it currently is. I have a headache. That's how I know I'm getting into stroke territory, because I'm having them more frequently. Every day. Frequently. Why haven't you fainted? Finion. Finally, you're using something other than Magikarp. A Finion and a Phoebus? Good, 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 good. Good on you. Not exactly the hardest thing to beat when all you use is Splash. Phoebus's cry sounds weird on the DS. I stayed up way too late. Oh, I did not get enough sleep. I'll be honest with you, I got half a mind to just say fuck it and go back to bed. Just give up. I can't anymore with these constant Magikarp. The sandstorm rages. Just like sand in an hourglass, these are the days of our lives. I never watched soap operas, but I remember my mom watched them when I was young. Didn't watch them for long. She watched them when I was really young, but then she kind of just fell off watching them over time. The older I got, the less I heard adults talking about them until I never heard about talking about them anymore. Hey, what's up? I'm glad you're coming in now and not at the beginning of the stream, because I did say I just told you in Discord last night, no more rages, happy all the time, we're gonna do our best. And I bitched about the TCG for a moment. I was basically telling everybody don't play with the Japanese because they act like the world will end if they don't win. And that gives me PTSD from my like Smash Brothers days from my jackass friends. But I did say I think the game has longevity. I think it has promise. It's in its early stages. There's a lot of bugs and kinks that need to be worked out. I think it'll improve. I think it has nowhere to go but up. No, I didn't do anything bad. Don't worry. I didn't say anything naughty. I talked about the TCG for a minute. I gave a positive and a negative. I'm trying here. I'm doing my best. We gotta get hip out. There we go. Up to level 40. Oh, earthquake. Finally. Finally. Oh my God, finally. That just took most of the game. What should we do with this ground Pokemon? Should we give it ground attacks? Nah. Let them struggle for 7 badges worth. Then we'll give them earthquake. You will believe me, you believe me or will believe in me, because that's two vastly different things. I am doing my best. I will say that. Like I'm trying my hardest to do better. But like I said earlier, every day that I wake up, I start mad. My baseline as a human being is rage. And, you know, having been on Lexapro for 8 years, yes, it's an antidepressant, but they also call them mood stabilizers. So the Lexapro helps shut off the chemical reaction in my brain that keeps me raged all the time. And without it now, I'm going back to my baseline of just rage. Because like, it's that episode of South Park all over again where Stan turns 10 years old and everything sounds like shit and everything is shit. Everything that's everybody says is shitty. I'll be honest with you, when that episode of South Park came out, I was not okay. No media in the history of ever has hit me as much as that arc in South Park did. That was something else, I tell you. I remember they went on one of the Matt and Trey went on one of those late night talk shows not long after that episode aired, and I forgot which talk show it was and who they talked to, but the guy was like, everybody ran, I think it may have been Jon Stewart or somebody that works for the same parent company was interviewing Matt and Trey, and they were like, yeah, after that episode aired, everybody was collectively like, are you guys okay? Should somebody go down to the studio and check on them? I'll never forget that. But the title of that episode is You're Getting Older. And unless you're mentally and emotionally prepared to watch it, it will destroy you. It will destroy you. So be careful watching stuff that you're not prepared to watch. Aw. I still can't believe we caught that Giratina in one Pokeball. What are the odds? Like, I need somebody to go in and do the math on how that happened. That was a mind-blowing experience. We went through all that. We went through the distortion world, getting lost, trying to navigate the maze, dealing with Cyrus. Then we finally come up against Giratina. Duskball. Boop. How? I'm still blown away. I want to battle every kind of Pokemon from around the world. I can see that. That's my dream too. Oh, I guess you weren't here a minute ago. The reason I brought up the TCG Pocket game was because I was telling everybody that I stayed up way too late. I think I stayed up till like 6 or 7 in the morning playing it. I saw you got the Lapras card. That's fantastic. I'm gonna try to get it tonight myself. I noticed that there are little missions like don't let your opponent get a point, fight this deck with a fighting deck or a fire deck and win that way. I noticed there are like little mini achievements inside of those challenges. So I was really trying to get I was trying to do that Lapras event on expert mode without letting the opponent get any points or win any cards. That took all night, but I did it. I got it. I still didn't get Lapras, but I got that achievement. The Bulbasaur full art is really pretty. I love the Bulbasaur. I love the fact that you can go in and make binders and show off your cards. That was a smart inclusion. I can't wait for the trading system to be implemented. I'm very curious how that's going to go. Will you be able to freely trade any card with people? Or is it going to be some bullshit like hand-holdy system of like, well, you can only trade a rare for a rare? I really hope they don't do too much hand-holding. I hope it's just flat out, you want this card? Sure. Okay, I'll give you this. Okay. Really hope it's a basic trading system. You need 2 of each card to build a deck. I'm not the smartest person in the world, so I went in and I hit the auto build and I just let the game build my decks. So far it's been working out for me. Once I get enough, once I get a wide enough variety of cards and enough cards of each, like you said, you need multiple of Bulbasaur. Once I get enough multiples of each card, I'll be able to like manually build my own deck. But for now, I'm just letting the game decide. That Lapras event is brutal though. Because that's Starmie. If they get Starmie out on the field, you're just fucked. It's over. You might as well just quit playing and go home. The one time I don't have cut with me. Love that from me. Honey, Tony. Don't let me forget we slathered the bark with honey. I've always wanted a full art paper card. I've had a few. There is something elating and fantastic about opening a pack and pulling one. It's an experience. If you've never experienced it, you really should. And I know that I can't just make that happen for you, but it's one of the little things in life that you really need to experience. I learned a year or two ago that there are shiny Pokemon cards. I didn't know that. You know, we're so used to like seeing foil cards and full art cards and yada yada. There are specifically some Pokemon cards that are in and of themselves shiny Pokemon, and I didn't know that. So many years went by and I did not know that was a thing. Yeah, you never. Like, I don't know how accessible Pokemon card packs are where you live. They're probably expensive. I know that the price of everything here in the States has become astronomical. Hell, we're having a hard time just buying groceries and paying our bills, our utility bills. Like, we do not have any money for anything. And I'm not, like I said, I don't keep up with the global economy, so I don't know how well each individual country everywhere is doing financially. And I know that imports on things like Pokemon cards can be expensive. I'm not sure how that works for South America. My friend used to tell me that like everyday electronics were astronomical in price. Of course, that's been some years ago now since he told me that. So I don't, and it might also, he lives in Argentina. So again, that might just be an Argentinian thing. It might vary from country to country down there. I don't know. Again, I have no knowledge about the inner workings of what's going on down there on that continent. But I know that the prices of Pokemon packs have gone up quite a bit here. That's why I said the mobile game is really nice, because it lets you have fun with the game without having to spend tons of real world money. You know, if you're patient, you wait out that ridiculously over long timer, then you're good. But oh, speaking of analog clocks, do you know what I found out the other day? There are a ton of what's the generation under millennials? Gen Z? Gen Alpha? I just learned the other day that Gen Z and Gen Alpha, so many of them don't know how to read these clocks. You can get them when you were little, now you can buy them. Yeah. See, that was my conundrum for a while too, is even if I bought the Pokemon cards, I don't got anybody to play with, you know? But again, that's the great thing about having the app and it being digital, is that you could just battle with randos and you can battle with your friends online. I've got you, Kai, Tyler, and Tiffany. So I think I have 4 friends on the game at the moment. I'm trying to add Thomas, but Thomas is such a pain in the ass. I've been hinting at it for a few days now, hoping that he gives me his friend code, but I think I'm gonna have to be blunt and just flat out ask for it, because he is not gonna offer that willingly. I'm gonna have to be like, hey, friend code, where is it? Give it to me. But I feel that it'll be another one of those games where he won't play it. I'll add him, we might play once and then we'll never play again. That's usually how things go with Thomas. I have no idea. The other day, Tuesday, I think, I went and I picked Thomas up. I went and voted, and then I took him to go vote, and then I dropped him off at his house. I ain't heard a peep out of him since. I mean, he talked in the Discord. Like, I think I spoke to him for 5 seconds in the Discord, but like, we don't talk anymore, you know? Julia's house. Well, who the hell is Julia? How great is the Sunny Shore music? Oh, right. She's the daily ribbon person. If you visit her every day, she gives you a ribbon for every day of the week. Right. We're gonna have Bibril get a bunch of ribbons. Actually, no. We'll let Torterra get some ribbons. Starting tomorrow. Okay. So I guess the gym leader here is taking off and we gotta go find him. Yeah, I used to be really like tight and close with my friends back in the 20 teens. We hung out, we played games, we went places, we did a lot. And then when everybody moved away, the only friend that didn't move was Thomas. And then Thomas and I kind of just went our own introverted ways. And we still speak and we still occasionally go do stuff, but it's usually just like go to the store and buy groceries or something. Boring, middle-aged chores and tasks. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it happens. Sometimes people grow apart. And when I was younger, you know, back in the 20 teens, I thought that would just end my world. I was always so terrified that was going to happen. It happened, regardless. But, you know, and then too, life's been hard. You know, life's been really difficult since 2016 for all of us. It's been one disaster after another. Hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, plagues. We had COVID, political disasters and turmoil and wars, and we've just been living through historical event after historical event, and I think that's put a strain on a lot of us. So I think a lot of us just go to work and come home dead, and everybody just wants to sit and play their games and be in their happy place for what little bit of fleeting time that they can. And I don't blame anybody for that whatsoever. Sometimes I worry that I ask too much of people, you know? I tell Tyler and Thomas that all the time. I'm like, look, if I'm asking too much, asking you to do this stream or play this game or whatever, tell me. But I think one of the larger problems with my friend circle now, as well as back in the day, it's been a lack of communication. I talk too much. I don't shut up. My friends, on the other hand, they could be sitting there on fucking fire and they will not ask for help. They will not ask for water. So after years and years and years of that kind of, shutting me out, one day I just woke up and said, you know what? Enough. Fine. Because like I was so tired of like emotionally investing myself in people IRL that didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to do anything, was always depressed, always negative. So I just kind of stopped really hanging out with anybody and doing anything. And I've spent so much time, streaming and doing YouTube and Twitch every day that it's kind of become a pseudo replacement for human interaction. Having chat here to interact with has kind of replaced going out and talking to people in the real world. And I know that's not healthy at all. It's really not. It's crazy how unhealthy that is. But a lot of people are doing that. Like there are millions of young people and people my age who they're on Twitch because they don't really have anybody to talk to IRL. Chat's all they got. And I don't know how many people watching this out there have ever heard the term parasocial, but when you're a streamer, your relationship with your audience is parasocial because you don't know your audience and your audience doesn't know anything about you other than what they see on screen. So you're still not friends with your audience, no matter how well of a back and forth you have. Now, I have made exceptions to that rule over the years. There's Lewis. Lewis and I are friends to the extent that we can be, living on two separate continents and having a language barrier, but we still make it work. We DM through Discord, we play games, we do the best we can. There's Pippi. Pippi was part of another streamer's community, another friend of ours' community. And when we were hanging out, he and I, and our two circles were merging, Pippi came in. And I'd like to think Pippi's a good friend. Again, she lives in Europe. I live in the States, so we can't exactly hang out. But she's in the Discord. We've played games together. We've played tons of Switch together. Mario Kart, Mario Party, you name it. She's been there and played it with us. But outside of, I think, like Lewis and Pippi, I think that's about it. Pippi came to the States a few years ago to visit some friends, so it's not unrealistic to think we'll never meet. We might meet and get to hang out in person eventually. It depends on whether I go to Europe or she comes here. And I've never been to Europe, but she has been to the States. So we might actually get to meet and hang out one day. And I would like that very much. I think that would be nice. It is a good group of people, isn't it? It's I mean, you have a good group of people when you can have the type of bipolar issues that I have, where one day you're in the Discord and you're posting inspirational quotes and memes and you're all happy, and then the next day you're just a rage hate-filled monster who's mad about some bullshit. If people are willing to tolerate that emotional whiplash, you get a good group of people. You got a good group of people. All right, we could stand to buy some more Pokeballs. I guess we kind of have pouring through our Pokeball supply trying to catch some of these. How many Hyper Potions? Oh, we definitely need Hyper Potion. Couldn't hurt to buy a few Max. We'll buy 5 because they're not exactly cheap. We're doing good on Revise. I think we can skip that. Oh, we definitely need some Full Heals. And hey, look, I went shopping. I didn't forget about it this time. This time, I remembered. I do feel that sometimes I push this group a little too hard with the streaming stuff. You know, like I said, it's one of those things where I want something and they don't really want it, so I feel like I might be rude in pushing it. Because like, I've always wanted to have other streamers as friends. You know, I've wanted to be able to have my own Twitch that I stream from, and then I want them to have their own Twitch that they stream from, and then I want us to come together and team up to play a game like yeah, those spooky horror games that require a couple of friends, or we could play Among Us or Lethal Company or any of that stuff. And I've tried to make that work. Kai has done a little bit of streaming, Thomas has done a little bit of streaming, but at the end of the day, they're not streamers in the same vein that like me or the other Twitch people are. Where I do it almost every day, they hardly ever do it. So it's things really didn't work out for me in that vein. And God knows I've tried to make friends on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Reddit. You name it, I've been on those platforms. I've reached out to other content creators. 9 times out of 10, they do not reply. Or if they reply, they have no interest in working with you. So it's kind of been a crapshoot as far as being able to like find people who are willing to play with me. So I'm kind of just flying solo out here, you know. Which, if you go back to the beginning of this episode, this very stream, and you see me raging about the Japanese people and their gaming habits, I don't come across as a nice person. I don't come across as a likable, affable person. So I get why I don't have that many friends. I get it. You're still scared, worried because we've never argued. That's true. I don't think you and I have ever really argued over anything. We don't have anything really to argue over. Every once in a while you'll say something and I'm like, he's right, I need to reel it back in. So I can't remember anything you've ever said where I'm just like, no, fuck you, you're wrong. I don't think that's ever happened between the two of us. You know, and Tyler and I fight like an old married couple, but like I said, Tyler and I met in 1994. We've been friends for 30 years. Thomas and I have been friends since around the Game Boy Advance era, because I remember when I first met Thomas, Tyler introduced me to Thomas. They had went to high school together, and I remember the Game Boy Advance was the console at the time. Everybody was playing Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby and Sapphire, and Thomas has a brother that was super into Pokemon too. So I would go over to their house and I would sit and play with Thomas and his brother, and we would do so much trading and helping each other with our Pokedex. So we'll just be generous and say from 2004, the year that those games came out, to 2024. So 20 years. So I've known Tyler for 30, Thomas for 20. Now, in the past few years, Thomas and I have been fighting a lot, and we've been butting heads a lot. And I think that's kind of that's driven a wedge between the two of us, and it might be why we don't hang out or really do much of anything, you know? But out of all the friends that I've had in my entire life, Tyler and Thomas are the only two who stuck around. Like I said, the few other friends that I've had here and there have blown the coop, moved away. And then even after they moved away, like it was all on me. I was the one constantly like trying to text, keep up. Do you want to play this? Do you want to play this? Do you want to chat in Discord? Nobody wanted to do anything. My buddy Miles tried. He moved away, but he and I spoke a lot through Discord. Oh yeah, I will remember to save. Thank you. Miles and I used to spend hours talking in Discord because he was in the same boat I was. He didn't have any other friends. He didn't have anybody else to talk to. It was just me and him. And he and I spent so much time talking on Discord. He was actually around when I started my streaming. Before I started doing YouTube full time, before going back to 2016, before any of my videos that currently exist, I used to sit and play Skyrim for hours on end, and he and I would sit on a Discord call for hours on end. He'd be playing a game, I'd be playing a game, and I started trying to stream on Twitch. I would stream Skyrim, but I didn't stream in the same way that I do today. I didn't start a game at the beginning. I didn't have an opening or end credits. I didn't have face cam. I had one of these headset mics. I didn't have an actual microphone. So we basically just sat on a Discord call while streaming for 2 or 3 hours, bemoaning about how the world sucked and we were depressed and yada, yada, yada. But over time, things kind of deteriorated between he and I. We both had used each other as a dumping ground for our bullshit for so long that we kind of ruined the friendship. We kind of ruined each other. We didn't hate each other or anything. It's just one of those deals where like you've used up your tolerance for that person. Like, I don't have anything to say to you. You don't have anything to say to me. What's there to talk about? Because about a year or two into my doing YouTube, I would talk to him a lot about politics and stuff, and that got very divisive between the two of us, and that ended up kind of souring the friendship. And in the end, it ultimately came down to, I asked him, you know, are we ever going to do anything again? Like, are we going to hang out? Are we going to play games? And in not so many words, his answer was no. He was very much happy just living by himself in a bubble and never talking to another human being. Then my other friend, D'Angelo, who I'd let D'Angelo stay here for 2 years rent free, you know, because he didn't have a place. And we used to play, Miles, Thomas, D, Tyler, all of us. We used to play a lot of video games together. But a couple of years into the friendship, I found out D couldn't stand Tyler. He hated his guts. He found him super annoying. So it was hard to hang out with those two at the same time. So it became a game of trying to match which friends get along with each other. That became a little stressful on me too over time. But when D'Angelo moved, you know, I asked him, are we going to stay in touch? Are we going to play games together? And he said yes, but we didn't. I remember one night very, very specifically, Monster Hunter. It was either Monster Hunter 4 or Generations Ultimate. One of the 3DS titles had just come out when he moved out of my house. And I saw he was online and I tried to join him. And he messaged me on Discord and he's like, yeah, we're trying to do something. Do you mind leaving the game? And after that night, we never played another game together. Ever. And after that, things were never really the same between the two of us. And again, it's one of those deals where we just kind of drifted apart. He went his way, I went mine, and just recently this year, I ended up removing D. I removed Miles from my Discord circle. Like, I just removed them as friends. They can't DM me and I can't DM them. It was nothing personal at the end of the day, but like, sometimes you gotta trim a tree. Sometimes you gotta trim those branches. Sometimes you got to get rid of a limb that bears no fruit. You know what I mean? I already have all my own fuck shit going on in my head. I'm already struggling enough with my own mental health. I can't be babysitting and hand holding these friendships. I can't be the only one putting in the effort. And that is something that I told myself in September of 2023. I was like, okay, Eric, you just turned 39 years old. You've got a year before you turn 40. You need to get your shit together. If a friendship's not working out, let it go. And that's what brings me to where I am today. As it stands right now, I'm not really accepting DMs from anybody outside of like, literally in my Discord, the only people who can DM me are literally you and Tyler. So it's just Tyler and Lewis are the only two people who are I'm literal friends with in Discord. They're the only two people that can DM me. As far as social media is concerned, sometimes I might send a message to Tiffany, Tyler's wife, or I might send Tyler a message even though he doesn't really use Discord or use Instagram. He's still on there. He created an Instagram account as a backup when they shut his Facebook down for months because he posted a meme they didn't like. But no, for the most part, you know, I don't have any real IRL friends left. I don't hang out with people. I don't socialize with people. I don't have a 9-to-5 job that I get up and go do every day. So I can go weeks without physically leaving the house. But you know, there are casualties in that too. Like take Kai, for example. And I met on the internet a handful of years ago, somewhere in the last 5 to 6 years. We met online, we became good friends, but life just keeps not working out in a way that lets us hang out a lot or talk a lot. He's got his own stuff going on, I've got my own stuff going on, and it's sometimes we occasionally speak in Discord now in the server itself, but you know, this year I said I want to make large changes. I want to cut off, I want to trim those branches that aren't bearing any fruit, you know. So that's why that's where I'm at. If I weren't streaming, like if I didn't have this to get up and do every day, where I had chat to talk to, even though 9 times out of 10 it's just you in here, I wouldn't be speaking to another human being probably for days at a time, weeks at a time. Outside of interacting with the family, because we all live under the same roof at this point. Outside of that, if I didn't have the Discord, I probably wouldn't interact with or speak to another human being for long periods of time. And even then, that one friend that I spoke about that, you know, that we kind of all collectively kicked out of the friend circle, he imploded and destroyed my Discord not once, not twice, but 3 times. He caused people to like leave the server, put the server on mute, put it on like do not disturb, whatever. He blew my Discord up 3 times, and after that I was like, I'm done. 3 strikes, you're out. And ever since I did that, it's been a hypocritical landslide for me of like self-destructing in the Discord myself. I will add sections, delete sections, add them back, delete them, add them back. I'm constantly like messing with stuff in the Discord, and it's out of desperation to try to make it perfect. I want people to be happy that they're there. I want people to use the Discord, and I want it to be fun. But at the end of the day, it's like Tyler said, it's Discord's not used nearly as heavy as it used to be. and everybody has their own shit to do and their own shit going on. Nobody can just sit in the Discord constantly all day. Nobody would want to. And I think my brain kind of sometimes forgets that. So I kind of have a hard time coping with that fact. But, wait, what? Raichu. I'm very sad. I'm out of drink. I had tea in here and I've drank it all. I don't have any water by me. I am sad. At the end of the day, like I said, I can come across as abrasive and I was talking about very personal things. I mean, why not at this point? You know, I'm just explaining it to everybody how we got here. How did we end up streaming on Twitch? You know? Now, how do I... Now, how? Oh, I feel dumb. Electabuzz. We're about to run out of PP for Earthquake. I don't mind talking about personal stuff. The only reason recently I said that I needed to stop talking about personal stuff was that every time that I did, it was personal medical stuff. Like, here's how my mental health is going. Here's how my mental health is going. Diet and exercise and sleep apnea and yada, yada, yada. I was getting sick of hearing it myself. I can only imagine how sick everybody else was of hearing it. But I feel like the discussion that I've had today is okay. Like, the part of my brain and the part of my soul that feels shame died a long time ago. Long time ago. You know, a lot of people, I'd say a large number of people who stream or do anything online, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever, I feel like a lot of people unknowingly, sometimes they might not even do it on purpose. I feel like everybody puts on a mask when they're on the internet. People use filters, they put on tons of makeup. They have this persona that they use when they do vlogs or YouTube videos or stream on Twitch. If I have at any point done that myself, which I mean statistically, obviously I must have. If I have, it's not been on purpose. And like I said, I have no life. I have no reason to put on airs. I have no reason to lie about any of my life. You know what I mean? I've been very open about pretty much every aspect of my existence since I've been on YouTube. I've never had to fabricate or make anything up. I've never had to embellish any stories or anything like that. I've not to pat myself on the back, but I've been as authentic as humanly possible to the best of my ability over the years, as far as I know. I need to use this. And I think oversharing in the way that I do can again stem from not interacting with people, not going to work every day and having to interact with people in an office or a building. It comes from not really having friends to socialize with, or it comes from me not really caring that much about my family. I care about my family a little bit, but the fact that their political leanings and my political leanings go two different ways, like, it doesn't make things great between us. And I don't know. I emotionally died a long time ago. And it's just been, my life has been suffering one letdown after the other by people. Will we do the Rayquaza raids? Oh, absolutely. I'm hell-bent on getting that shiny Rayquaza. They also said there might be a Deoxys event, which Deoxys is one that I need desperately for my living decks. So I'll be trying to do that as well. But yeah, my personal experiences from childhood to adulthood, it's just been a constant wave of like being disappointed, let down, hurt, abused by everybody. Casual acquaintances, work acquaintances, friends, family. It's just been one stab to the gut after the other over the years. And it's made me into the person I am today, which is like bitter, resentful. I don't work well with others, which becomes ironic because it feeds back into it feeds back in. It becomes a causality loop of like, you're causing people not to like you because you're lashing out because you've been treated poorly, which causes you to lash out. And that's a circle. It's a vicious circle, you know? But, you know, sometimes I have to kind of sit down and have these little conversations with myself where I have to remind myself that person X isn't responsible for the damage done by person Y. I can't lash out at people who did nothing to me. And I do find myself having to like check myself on that on a regular basis. You know, at the end of the day, I'm doing the best that I can. Life's been rough, you know, especially in regards to everything I've talked about today. I'm trying. Dun, 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 dun. Hippowdon. It's getting dark so early. The sun is almost completely set, and it's not even 5 p.m. yet. Gross. Magneton. Hippowdon has been ripping through this gym, just tearing ass through this gym today using Earthquake. Oh, I'm so happy we have Earthquake now. The only question about the shiny Rayquaza is whether we stream it or not. I don't think I will. I think that I've done as much Scarlet and Violet content as I can. I think anything else I do for Violet, I'm just gonna play off stream. But if you're interested, you and I can team up and we can try to go after Rayquaza together. But given how difficult the raids are, it's more than likely going to just turn into us getting lucky. I gotta figure this out. 7:53 there, the sun is still. Yeah, cause you're heading into summer, you lucky bastard. We're headed into winter. It's dark as shit here. I hate this puzzle in particular. Okay, hang on. Move that. How do I get? All right, I move this. How do I get up there? How do I get up there? I don't really know. How the hell do I get up there? I don't remember this puzzle. Well, okay. All right. How the fuck do I do this? Jesus Christ. What am I missing? This is just fucking stupid. I've never had this happen to me in my entire fucking life. Fuck this. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. right. Volkner. Jolteon. Oh shit, I didn't heal. Uh-oh. Well, that's a hardy earthquake. We're so lucky that Iron Tail missed. Use dig. I dare ya. You press another button, you're gonna explode. I know that was infuriating, wasn't it? And like I said, I've never had that problem before. Ooh. Run, dun. Run, dun, dun. Please don't faint me. Yay! You know, I really love Raichu. I think Raichu is an underrated Pokemon. Everybody's so hung up on Pikachu. And I get it, I love Pikachu, but Raichu's pretty badass too. Electivire. It's gonna be a tricky one. I don't think a single earthquake is gonna do it here, so we're gonna need to strategize. Night night. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Somebody's going night night so that I can do Earthquake. Dun 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 dun. Who does he have left? Oh, it's Luxray. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I agree with that. Raichu has always seemed middle stage, right? And I think there were originally 3 stages to Pikachu's evolution, that not including Pichu, of course. I do think there was a 3rd stage, and I don't remember what it looks like. There are beta sprites of it online. If you Google it, you can find them. But Raichu very much does come across as like 3rd stage or middle stage, and but I'm fine with the way it turned out. I like Pichu well enough. Fuck, I flinched. Please don't wake up before I can do Earthquake. I'm so happy that I put in the time and the work with Hippowdon to raise her up. Because I was so on the fence at first about using Hippowdon, but kept thinking, well, you've never raised one before, just do it. Oh, Oh, and now he's going to use a full restore. So we're going to use Yawn again. Never mind. Sandstorm for the win. And I do believe, my dear chums, well, that means we have all 8 badges from the center region. Woo! Progress were made today. Ooh, we use waterfall now whenever. Do you remember when Metroid Other M came out and everybody was so mad over the fact that Samus was supposed to be this kind of tomboyish, kick-ass, brooding, take no shit from nobody kind of character, and then in Other M, she couldn't use her abilities unless Adam told her she could? Number 1, sexist. Number 2, patriarchy. Number 3, that's not how Samus works. Those were all the arguments that I kept hearing. And it always reminded me of Pokemon every time. So you're in the Pokemon world, you're running around, you're battling, you're catching Pokemon, trading, evolving, yada, 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 doing the gym challenge. You come across a tree, then you need to cut. Or a rock that you need to move or smash. You need to fly from one town to another. Or maybe you just want to surf across some water. You want to go up that waterfall? Not allowed. You have the HM for it? Your Pokemon knows how to surf? Not allowed. You will be arrested and sent to jail if you do not have the appropriate badge to use the HM. So not only have HMs always been a pain in the ass and I hate them, they've never made any sense. Like, who's physically stopping me from using cut, surf, fly, string, rock climb, waterfall, rock smash, defog? Like, who is actually stopping me? Are the cops going to come arrest me if I use cut on a bush before I have the appropriate badge? That aspect of the HMs never made any sense to me, and it still bothers me to this day. Eric, you're just overthinking it. It's just a video game. Let it go. Welcome to my brain. These are the things that keep me up at night. You can't tell me you've never questioned that either. I mean, all right, since I mentioned it in this episode, let's go over this real quick. All right, listen up, Gen Zs and Gen Alphas. Good old Eric here's going to teach you how to use an analog clock. You see that dot at the top? Well, that's a 12. Move over 1 to your right, clockwise, hence the term. That's a 1. Then there's sequence numbers after that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12 total numbers on the clock representing half of a day on Earth being 24 hours, half of 24 is 12, AM and PM. Well, that being said, the short hand is the hour hand, the long hand is the minute hand. So it is currently, it's not quite 5:10, so it's somewhere between 5:05 and 5:10. On an analog clock, it might vary. You might have shorter little notches in between each number. That way you can determine exactly what minute it is. Otherwise, you just kind of got to eyeball it with a clock like this. My digital clock on Windows says it's 5:08 p.m. And you can tell that's more or less accurate. This analog clock. Oh, it just moved. It moved. So now it's 5:09. When it gets to that square, it's going to be 5:10. When it goes down to the next square, it will be 5:15. Then 20. Then 25. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 60 minutes in an hour. It's by intervals of 5. Congratulations, you've learned something today that public schools probably didn't teach you, or your dumbass was just too busy not to learn. Tune in next week when I teach you all how to use cursive and write in cursive, because I hear they're not teaching that anymore. And that's something once you learn, you can't unlearn. Thankfully, I remember how to write in cursive very well, and I will teach you if need be. That's today's lesson. Ooh, our badges are dirty. Let's just take a moment to polish them up. There will be no homework, there will be no quiz. Because even as a grown-ass 40-year-old adult, I still think homework is bull-fucking shit. I honestly don't know why homework exists. I could just Google it. I've never taken the time to Google why homework exists. I want to say it has something to do with trying to get the parents to be hands-on with the child's education. But I'm sorry, that ship sailed a generation or two ago. Now everybody's fucking working until they're dead. Nobody has time to... That's the teacher's fucking job. Don't send the schoolwork home with the child. The parent couldn't be fucked to care. They're too busy working 3 jobs just to pay rent now. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. And even when they did, like even in the 90s when everything was all peaches and cream and a one income household could buy a fucking mansion with 2 cars, like The Simpsons. Like, even then, parents just... You have helicopter parents, and you do have some parents that really care, but I think statistically the majority of parents are probably just in favor of like having the children keep all their work at school and let kids be kids when they come home in the afternoon, because childhood disappears in the blink of an eye. And childhood is a very magical time in your life. It's when you build core memories that you'll look back on and you'll be like, I remember playing this game. I remember playing this outdoors. I remember playing with that toy. Those are some of your golden memories when you get older and life is absolute trash and a capitalist nightmare hellscape from which none of us come out alive. When you get older, you really cherish what your childhood was. And the more time a child spends playing and exploring their world, the better their mental health will be when they're an adult. Now, learning is very important. Yes, education is extremely important. Yes. But that's why children need to be taught to try their best to pay attention while in school, during school hours, and leave their playtime to after school. Which, by design, school can be a little complicated because children's brains are underdeveloped. They're not fully formed yet. So just because a child's not paying attention doesn't just magically mean they have ADD or ADHD. Children, by nature, are... not very attentive. They're not going to be able to sit still for long and listen. It's just not how mammals work. But we do our best. But that's a long way of going around the world to say that I think homework is bullshit even as an adult. Just keep it in the school. It'd be like that though. I say all that and people will come at me like that for real. Be like, you can't tell me how to raise my child. And then they feed them McDonald's constantly, let them rot their brain in front of the television constantly, yell at them, emotionally abuse them. Sometimes people just flat out beat their children. Like, the very ones who holler, you didn't tell me how to raise my kids, are usually the ones raising them poorly. Just saying. Because, like, you should be open to input, you know. Not just on child rearing, but like all aspects of life. You should at least be willing to listen. Unless somebody just... There are times where somebody opens their mouth and starts a sentence and you're like, no, fuck you, you're an idiot. What's a good example? Flat earthers, conspiracy theorists. As soon as they open their mouths, I'm like, done. I don't need to hear another word. Look at these polished son of a guns. How long have I been polishing these badges? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? I know there's a way to look. There's my controller. The analog clock says roughly 5 minutes. But we did it, folks. We made it to Sunny Shore today, and we have all 8 badges. Look at that shit. Woo! Now we just need to run around and work on the Pokedex and train up some more and get ready to go to the Pokemon League. Jasmine, Barry. Yep, that's usually how it works, Barry. We all get tougher one step at a time. You have to go. Well, that's the end of today's stream anyhow. I'm just trying to get up here to save. Bum, bum, bum. That was a fun stream, wasn't it? Had a lot of ups and downs. Alright, see you later. And I'll see you guys later as well. Let me save one more time, but that's going to be the end of today's streamy stram. Tyler and I might play some Monster Hunter. You never know. We're really on a Monster Hunter kick lately. And we just been tearing ass through Monster Hunter Rise. But hope you guys have a very pleasant rest of your day. And I'll see you when I see you. See you, folks.